Hello. Last time we figured out how to make levels, like what our system for that is, and this time we're going to make them. We've done 3 last time, and I want to do 9 in the end. I originally thought about 10, but I don't know, this game, its scope is not sufficient to have a really long campaign, especially since you lose everything when you die. There's a risk of it being too long. And this will be the only time I do this in tutorial, but I actually made some stuff ahead of time, because the point of teaching, figuring out and then telling you the structure we're going with for making these levels is that once you have that structure in place, actually making the levels is just a question of moving little prefabs around and resizing things and dragging stuff about. You've already seen me do lots of that in the last episode. I don't think you want to see another literally 45 minutes of me doing that with no new information. So I pre-built some templates. Oh, first thing to mention is actually last time I created a template called the 2x2 template, and it looked like this. That is a 3x2 template, not a 2x2, and I could have seen that if I had dragged in a placeholder block, which I raved on about how useful it is to have these, and I didn't end up using them to test this level. But yeah, you can see that is actually 3 elements wide, not 2. So all I've done is just rename it to 3x2 and update the level generator to tell it it's got 3 width and 2 length. And then actually I do want a 2x2 level template, so I built one of those. So that's what 2x2 looks like. It's way narrower. Intuitively you think 2x2 would be square, but of course our chunks are very narrow and very tall, or long, I think is the right terminology. So yeah, 2x2 looks like that. So I made a 2x2, we already had a 3x1. The 3x2 we already had, but we called it something else. A 3x3, why not? Big central arena. And then a 4x1, very wide one. So there's nothing new about any of those. They're just different sizes of the thing we already made, and you just have to remember to update these 2 figures in the level generator. And then for the levels themselves, it's really just a bit of, well, I decided the sort of clean way to do it is to think of it in 3 chunks of 3 levels. So the first 3 levels are, I'm surprised by that camera angle, that doesn't seem right at all. We want Z positive facing forwards, please. That's level, okay, that's level 1, this is level 2, they look identical. This is level 3, also very similar, but bigger. And then I think basically every 3 levels will kind of jump up in difficulty and jump back down in level size. I mean, we're not going to follow that too strictly, but basically like the first, if we just made everything else about the game harder, let's give you a relatively small level to get your head around it, and then we can go, in this case, just taller, and then eventually bigger. And then level 7 goes small again, and then bigger and bigger. So level 3, I think, is the first one where we give you a full set of possible options for pickups, and we introduced fast swarmers. So we did that last time. And then level 4, what did I do here? Full set of weapons, and now tough and fast swarmers are an option. But you don't necessarily get them, you could end up with all just regular swarmers. I also increased the number of guards and the number of spawners. So then level 5, I left the guards and spawners the same, or did I? I think that's one more, isn't it? 5 spawners. And yeah, the spawn menu stays relatively fixed. One thing I was surprised to find when I actually messed around with this is that varying the number of alert levels isn't really necessary, and actually it's a bit sort of confusing, because you just develop instincts for how many things you can steal before you're in trouble, and when that keeps changing between 3 and 4, I actually found it kind of annoying when it changed. I wasn't grateful for the extra, tolerance. So I think we're just going to keep it at 3 on everything. There might be some of these still set to 4, in which case I'll fix it when I notice. But yeah, there didn't seem to be any upside to it. So level 6. Basically, what I've done here is a difficulty curve of sorts. And this one does have 4, so I'm going to change that down to 3. But you quickly hit, 4 guards and 5 spawners is intense. It's a lot. And having too many guards just means it's going to be instant alert. And having too many spawners, you get into issues with it just being kind of tedious to kill everything. Because we got to be sensible about what we add at this point, because you could expand this game in every direction. You could add loads of weapons, you could add loads of swarmer types, you could add loads of guard types. And I've tried to figure out what the most efficient thing for us to add is, given that we have limited time. I don't want to spend another 10 episodes just fleshing out this game. We've taught the actual interesting, programming and design stuff. It's not really worth spending ages just building more content for a game that is already well understood. All of which is to say, I think one of the things that needs to change as you progress is the guards, because that is surprisingly effective and it's a good immediate change. So one thing, I'm thinking of this in 3 different worlds, and let me just do a change that is really easy and pays off surprisingly well, which is once you get to level 4, which is world 2, if you want to think of it in those terms, let's just make the ground a different color. So I made a new material. It's just the old material. In fact, I'll show you exactly what I did. I just opened up the old material, then albedo, I just changed it to a different value. But don't do that to the actual existing old material. Copy it first. Look, I'll just do it. If I do Control D, it duplicates it. It looks different at first. It's not. It's just Unity being stupid. And then you change it like this, and you end up with something kind of greenish. I'm not going to use that one because I already made one that I like, and color choices are not my strong point, so if I hit something I like, I've got to keep it. So I just drag that onto the ground. So we're overriding the prefab here. That's not going to affect all the 4x1s. It's only going to be in this level that we're doing that. And now the world is green. And we just go through that and do that on all 3 of these levels. So this is a little bit of legwork. I don't mind this because it's an easy change, and it's just it's a tiny bit repetitive. We're only doing 3 times. I've got a very low tolerance for repetitive work, but this is within my my limits. And it's amazing when you play how big a difference this makes. It really feels like, whoa, what is this alien world? I mean, I've explored a gun museum, but what is this? People are very easily fooled by new colors, including myself, including the person who chose these colors and added them. Even I'm like, whoa. Okay, so that's world 2, and then the other thing I want to change is the guards. So I thought I was going to be making a bunch of new swarmers, and maybe if this episode runs short, I will have time to go into that. But I didn't find it was necessary, actually. If you just make the guards better, then it has an immediate visual effect, because you see that the guards are different as soon as you start the level, whereas swarmers, you'd only know that there's any difference once the swarmers flood in. And if you want that kind of new world feeling, it's nice if you immediately see that there's something different. And yeah, of course, they are combatants too. So once the fight kicks off, they if we give the guard a better weapon, it's a really noticeable difference in combat. It makes everything more chaotic. And the change we made last episode really pays off here, because the reason back in the old days when we gave guards Uzis, that was a big problem, partly because you were trying to steal things while they're shooting at you, and they were such a huge threat you just couldn't afford to do anything except take them out or hide from them, or just only think about them, really. Now that guards are weaker, that's less of a problem, but then the big change is that now you no longer have to steal things while people are shooting at you. So the fact that they are, if we make them powerful, it adds chaos to the combat phase only, not to the stealth phase. And it actually, I found it quite fun to try and chase those bounties while you're dealing with a really powerful combatant. That is much harder and a much more just sort of a richer challenge. That sounds going a bit far, but it's good. So let's just make a new guard. Now, I don't want to just duplicate it, because I want the new ones to be variants of the old one, so that if we ever change the old one, they'll get the changes. So the only way I found of doing this, we've done it before, I find it a bit weird that we have to do this. I drag it into the scene, then I drag it back out again, and it says, do you want to make a variant? And yes, I do. Then you've got to remember to delete it from the scene, because you don't want it there. Good lord. Isn't that interesting? It named itself Uzi Guard. Did I type that somewhere? So this is, we might see a few weird phenomena like this, because I've made all these levels, we're not starting from scratch here, we're starting from my practice version, which I then removed my other changes from. I'm going to redo those changes. The fact that this automatically enables itself Uzi Guard is weird. It's not going to have the actual... Oh my god, it is. That's really strange. Can I stop it from doing that? I don't want it to do that. Maybe I can just revert the whole thing. Overrides, revert all. It's not all of them, is it? All right. Oh, maybe it is. No, it's not. It's really not. Sorry, this is very strange. I guess the pistol was always red. So that is just a pistol. Why is it so much darker, though? Because the material apparently is the same, just default material. Oh, maybe the albedo is set. Nope, still just white. Okay. Try to ignore the fact that it looks different, because Unity insists that it's the same. So, we're going to... what I wanted to show is just how you make a different guard. We are going to name it Uzi Guard. That is the correct name, Unity. You're going a bit ahead of yourself by automatically naming it that, but fine. And because of our lovely weapon system, we just drag an Uzi in there, and we delete. Actually, we can't. If we try and delete the pistol, it's going to tell us we can't, because you can't have a variant that removes an element of a prefab, but we can just uncheck it, so it effectively doesn't exist. And then all we've got to do is, I mean, putting the Uzi in a sensible place would help. So I'm going to reset its transform, and it will go to my feet. I don't want that. Weapons on guards need to be lifted up by 1 unit. And then the last thing to do is just, on the guard itself, it has a reference to the pistol. Well, the pistol isn't used anymore, it's disabled. Let's drag the Uzi in, and now it will notify the Uzis. So now we have a new kind of guard, and on all of these levels, including 6, on levels 4, 5, and 6, we just replace the guard prefab. It's kind of a bit of serendipity here that we already have a variable for this. Like, the reason we set that up wasn't because we were thinking ahead. We want Uzi Guard. Did I make 2? Oh my god, am I just an absolute fool? I'm an absolute fool. That's what's happened. I'm an absolute fool. I didn't open the variant I created. I just saw what I was looking for and took it. Okay, so I'm just going to do all that again now, because I just literally forgot to delete some items. It's not Unity's fault for once. Yep, I'm just going to do that again real quick, so that I really am starting from scratch. And I can check that I didn't go ahead of myself at any point. So, guard variant, please use the Uzi I've just given you, and disable your pistol. And the Uzi's transform needs to be reset. If we were going to work on this game much longer, I would go into every weapon prefab and reset its transform in the prefab, because that is kind of annoying. And that was it, wasn't it? Yes. Oh yeah, just name it. Okay, cool. So back to level generator, and want to find the Uzi Guard. That'll be the guard prefab. Okay, cool. So, I mean, if we had a larger set of levels and we're planning to expand it more, then it might make sense to have something like a sort of a level generator variant for World 2, and then all the World 2 levels could have some defaults that you don't have to set individually. Since we're only 3 levels per world, it's real easy to just do it manually. And this will be the last change we have to make to all of World 2. So, replace the guard with the Uzi Guard, save, and then level 5, replace the guard with the Uzi Guard. Cool. So let's actually play that. One nice thing we have is that we can start wherever we want. So if I'm actually not going to start level 4, I'm going to start level 3, so we can kind of see the difference. And hopefully... just need to actually win the level. Oh wow, so many antiques. Sniper and Uzi. hoover up those bounties. Nothing on the fast ones. Oh, there's still a bounty on those red guys, but I think I'm going to miss it. No, I literally got 0. Alright. And now, whoa, what is this crazy world? It looks completely different. The Uzi guards don't look very different, do they? Let me check if they do actually have Uzis. Yep, they got Uzis. God, Uzis. My god. Wow, I took them both out. That was a bit of luck, actually. I'm not that good with the sniper rifle when moving. Damn, those bounties are really satisfying. I'm doing alright for someone who didn't pick up any weapons before he started a fight with 3 Uzi guards. Okay. That proves the point, I think. And we're just going to finish this level now that I'm close. Okay, yeah, so I want the Uzi guards to look different, because that was part of the point of changing them, wasn't it? To kind of give this new world a different feel. And they look really dark in the prefab view, and I don't know why. Prefab lighting is just weird. But I don't want to make it just colour, so I'm actually going to put a cube in there. And let me check that, is that... No, that wasn't at the base. That was centered on the base. So I'm just going to use the rectangle tool here to drag it up to the height we want. Same height as this guy. I'm going to disable the cylinder. And the cube, I'm going to give it its own... I made a material for this, actually. Did I? Perhaps not. What happens if we give it the tough swarmer material? That might be kind of nice. Yeah, I could rotate this cube so that... What does it look like if it's sort of angled like that? Is that better? Maybe. Actually, no. I prefer it the other way. Just make them dorky boxes. That's fine. So now I'll play again. This time I'll just start straight on level 4. And we'll experience the weird and wonderful green world of Uzi guards. Yeah, there we go. That does add something, doesn't it? It does feel like a different place. To a surprising extent. Oh my god. Chaos. Okay, now I'm screwed. Okay, cool. So then, if World 2 is a green place with Uzi guards, what should World 3 be? Oh, that's still World 2. So, colour-wise, I picked out a nice pink for the floor, which I can grab now. Which is sort of one notch stranger than green, I think. And then for guards, in my practice, I tried giving them the rail Uzi, and it wasn't that great. I thought that would be a good escalation difficulty because you can't dodge it. But really, it was just a bit unclear what was happening when they were firing at you. So I might try giving them a shotgun this time. So in this case, I can just duplicate the Uzi guard, because Uzi guard is already a variant of the guard. I don't want to make a variant of the Uzi guard, I want to make a variant of the guard, so I'm doing the same thing again, so I can just dupe what I've already done. Yeah, let's call it a shotgun guard. I'm curious, it might be the case actually that if the shotgun is less serious to fight against, then maybe we'll switch these two. I probably should have called them, in fact I will call them World 2 Guard and World 3 Guard, and then if it's not the right way around, I'll just switch their weapons in the prefabs rather than having to go around and change the references in all 6 worlds. So we're going to give them a shotgun. We're going to reset its transform, because of course it's in a stupid place. Oh, you know what? Let me just quickly check something. I bet the original weapon transform has a weird... Nope. Theory disproved. Just all of the variants happen to all have a weird transform. It's not a problem, it just annoys me slightly. World 3 Guard, give them a shotgun. We can delete the Uzi, because that was something we added, it's not in the original prefab. Set up its weapon reference to be to the shotgun. And then visually, let's give them another cube. And this one I will rotate so that it makes a kind of like star pattern. I quite like that. Oh, the shotgun is on the ground. We should fix that. And I think we should also change their colour. But what colour should the enemies of this world be? They could be pink. Oh, that would kind of blend into the ground though, wouldn't it? What if they were the same colour as the ground of the previous world? I mean, they could be all red. Don't want to have different colours for sure, because that looks really horrible. Yeah, they could be red. They're kind of like royal guards. Actually, they remind me of the... there's those like really high-ranking bodyguards, I guess, in Star Wars that are always hanging around the Emperor. They're in all red. That works for me. So that's it. And yep, now I'll go through and actually update the references. So world 7 level generator guard prefab can be world 3 guard. Don't know why. What is that? Why is my cursor a resizing thing? Let me just click on the damn thing, Unity, for God's sake. Okay. Level 8. Level generator. And get... Oh, for God's sake. Got to type it in each time because the UI is... I think it's probably struggling with like window scaling or something. Anyway, if you think watching me update all of these figures is boring, imagine if I'd been making all of these 9 levels and templates while you watched. It would have been tedious. Level 9 I'm actually going to leave because that's going to be a special one. That's going to be the boss level. So, did I update the floor color? No, I didn't. So let's do that now. Save that. And then that was 8, so then 7 is next. That's already pink. And then level 9, I will update the floor color. Cool. So world 3 is now pink and has tougher guards. Has more powerful guards. We could make guards tougher very easily. I didn't find that was necessary. But yeah, let's see what shotgun guards feel like. So we want to start on level 7. The Uzi guards might well be the most powerful ones. Wow, this feels really weird. They kind of clash, don't they, actually? Which is not necessarily a bad thing. Like, for a late world to be kind of ugly is okay. I might change him, though. Alright, this guy. Bloody hell. It's a lot. This is, honestly, this being a tight level does not do you any favours, does it? Wow, it's chaos. Alright, I'm actually, I'm going to change this level because I think that is, close quarters is just kind of crazy for this kind of thing. It's a 3x1 right now, let's just make it a 3x2. And I'll have to update the ground material. And for the level generator, what I'll do is, this is a useful thing when editing levels, go to the old level generator, click the little cog and say copy component, and then new level generator, click the little cog and say paste component values. So then everything will be the same. And after we do that, of course, we've got to rebake the nav mesh. I did have this checklist last time, but I'll just show it to you. If you're when you're making your own levels, setting the width and height in the level generator, rebaking the nav mesh, add it to the build. That one got me out so many times. We learned that last episode. But oh my god, it's annoying because you can test the game and play all the way up into the level, then it crashes when it tries to load the level and you've got to start again. And the next level name. So that is here. Make sure that is always set correctly. And just to remind you about the build settings, it's file build settings, and then you've got to drag everything in there. That was one reason that it was better to do this ahead of time, because watching me screw that up, like each of those things on the checklist I screwed up about 3 times each. And it wasn't fun. So, we are just going to test this, aren't we? Oh yeah, I just want to test the bigger level now. Because the shotgun guards were hard to test. when they're in that close quarters. Wow, that's a lot of empty space. I actually might disable the empty space chunk because it makes very strange levels. There's no plinths in there too, which just makes the level kind of harder. Damn it. Okay, I actually got away with that. Okay, so... Wow, that looks beautiful, doesn't it? Yeah... I don't think it's that scary, is it? It's definitely scary in close combat. I mean, the main thing is it matters a lot. It makes a big difference. It's definitely a different vibe to the other thing. But I think that maybe we should switch them. So that would just be a case of switching weapons. So, World 2 guard is going to have a shotgun. Shame there isn't an easier way to do this switcheroo. But we know what we're doing now, don't we? It's just 0, 0 there. And World 2 guard. Please know that you should use the shotgun, and Uzi can be deleted. And then for World 3 guard, delete the shotgun, drag in an Uzi, give it coordinates 0, 0. And the Uzi is red, which makes that look odd now. And then guard, please reference your Uzi. And while we're here, I think I will change this material because it is pretty ugly. It could be bright green, I suppose. Why did I decide against green? How does it look? It looks very dark, but that doesn't tell us anything really. Let me try this ammo colour. I should just make a new material, shouldn't I? I think green's odd enough. They look like Christmas trees now. It's fine. Oh. I can make him gold, couldn't I? Maybe that's what I did before. Yeah, that'd be good. Okay, so later guards will be the Uzi ones, because I think the Uzi is, the Uzi is bad at close range. I mean, it's scary at close range, and it's scary at long range, whereas the shotgun is only really scary at close range. Like, when I was running from those guys, I thought maybe the shotgun might be really nasty because you can't avoid it, like there's so much fire you can't dodge it. Which is true, but it also just did so little damage, it didn't matter that much. Whereas with the Uzi, when the spray is coming in, it's coming in thick and fast, and so you both... It's still hard to dodge because it's not single shots, and also it's going to do a lot of damage when you do get hit. So that's probably the way around. So that, I think, is all of our conventional levels done. They may need some tweaking, like just from balance point of view, but I'm not going to do that on camera. I mean, we'll play it, and if there's anything obvious, we'll change that. But, so the final thing is, I wanted the final level to be a bit special, to be a boss fight. So, I hand-built this arena. So, this is the 3x3 template, I just started with that. And then I've told the level generator that it is 0 by 0. So, because the level generator, you know, it doesn't create this, it creates the chunks, and I don't want it to create any chunks this time. I still need the level generator because it does things like determine what swarmers are going to come out of the spawners, and it places things on plinths and stuff, so we still need that, but I don't want it to make any chunks, and instead I just made my own chunks. In fact, I made a thing called Big Chunk, which is, the way I made this was literally just to drag in the middle chunk, this one, and then just change the values, so it was like 15 by 15, I think is what I went for. And then of course if you do that, the enemy spawner needs moving in a bit. Wow, I really screwed that up. That kind of thing. And then these nav points need moving out a little bit so that they are in the corner. They're supposed to be, in the corners. And yeah, by doing that I made a new prefab called Big Chunk, and I just made 4 of those. So the idea is it has 8 plinths. I set the level generator to actually give no antiques on this level. There will be a monetary reward for this level, but it won't be from picking up antiques, so it's just all combat options. The alarm level is set to 4. I think you could safely set that to, let's do 5, just to make it a bit more different, a bit more special. I think, oh yeah, I took out, so the amount of like ammo that you need for this is quite significant. And so I have placed ammo pickups in the level. And actually, this is something that I found in general, is that as we scale up the difficulty of the enemies, the game gets harder, obviously. We don't scale up the power of the weapons, which I think is okay, because we want the game to get harder, but it's not cool when you just run out of ammo, because like you used your ammo pretty efficiently, but you're just out of it, because the amount of ammo in the weapons doesn't scale, but the amount of ammo it takes to kill enemies does scale, so that was a bit annoying. So we already have an ammo pickup, which if you take it from plinth, that gives you full ammo. But I wanted to have another way of getting ammo in the level, basically. One that can happen after the stealing phase. The problem is anything in the stealing phase is out of the question as soon as the alarm goes off, because everything locks down. And so instead, I created a different ammo. I'm talking in the past tense, I'm going to do it now. I will create a new version of the ammo pickup. So the ammo pickup here, just has this ammo pickup script on it. I'm going to duplicate the whole prefab. I could make it a variant, I don't think it matters enough. And the new one, actually let's leave that as is, and I'm going to rename the existing one to a full ammo pickup, because it does give you full ammo, and the new one we're going to create does not. So I might call it small ammo pickup. Right now we have no way of varying that, so let's create it. Double click on ammo pickup, and we'll just have a public float fraction to replenish. And so the fraction will be, for a full ammo thing, it will be 1, replenish all of the ammo. For anything less, it will be that fraction of the maximum ammo. And we already have a variable for the maximum ammo. So instead of setting the current ammo to the max ammo, we will instead increase it by not the full amount, but the full amount times the fraction. It's not going to like that, because ammo is an integer, and if you multiply something by a fraction, it's going to, well, if you multiply something by a float, it's going to end up being a float. So we need to do mathf dot round to int. So it's going to round it down, or round it to the nearest whole number and make it an integer. And that's almost all we need, except that could go over their maximum ammo, and I think we should prevent that, certainly because the full replenish shouldn't do that. So we could do an if it's greater than the max, then set it to the max, that's fine. I think in this case, it actually is a bit easier to write the mathf.min function. So we're going to set the current ammo to be the smallest out of these two numbers, one of which is the weapon.current ammo, whatever it currently is, and the other of which is the weapon.ammo, which is its max. So that says take the minimum of these two numbers, and last episode we could have used this and we didn't, because I said it's a little bit confusing, and it is a little bit confusing, because if I was saying this in English, I would say make sure our ammo is at most the maximum ammo, and then the function you have to use is make sure it's the minimum of these two numbers. And that does mean the same thing, it just, the words are confusing. Don't be more than the maximum ammo. And the way you express that in programming maths functions is you want the minimum of these two numbers. Yeah, that's all for the ammo pickup. One thing we've got to watch out for is that value, the new field we've created, is going to default to 0, so neither of them will do anything at all, which is fairly serious. I think the small one, 0.3, might be good. And then the big one, the full ammo pickup, that is the one that you'll get from plinths, because that costs you something. It uses up one of your alert slots. That one will make it full. So I'm hoping that if we look at level generator, maybe not on this level, but on a different level, that the entry in there for ammo has already updated to be full ammo pickup. That's because we renamed the existing prefab. We didn't create a new one for that. So that's good. It's still going to give us the right thing. And then in the boss level, I had strewn these ammo pickups around. Those are actually just the full ammo pickups, and I don't want them to be that. I want them to be the... you know what? We'll get back to this, because to stay on topic, the whole point of this was that guards should drop ammo. Did I even say that? My idea is that guards should drop ammo, because guards you will kill after the fight kicks off, so they can top you up when you run out, and it often leads to a good situation where, you know, you're in a desperate, frantic fight, you run out of ammo, in the process you killed a bunch of guards, and now that ammo is strewn around the combat arena, and now you go and hunt it out. So, how do we have someone drop something on death? Well, my starting point for this is that remember that on destroy is not the right way to go about this kind of thing, because an object can be destroyed for all kinds of reasons. The only thing that knows that it was killed because of damage is the health system. And so the health system already has a way of doing something, of creating instantiating a prefab on death, because it creates the death effect. So let's just do something exactly like that for loot drop. So this is a system, once it's set up, any kind of enemy could drop any kind of loot. And all it's going to be code-wise is really easy, because we've already got code. This is where we die. It says, if loot drop is not equal to null, then by all means instantiate the loot drop. So that's just literally the same code, but with loot drop instead of death effect. And nothing's going to have one except for guards. So because the others are a variant of this guard, I'm hoping I only have to do it once. I should be able to drag the small ammo pickup into the loot drop slot, and then guards should drop loot. Okay, cool. Let me just test that, maybe just on level 1. Not level 71. That's too far. Okay, shotgun, sniper, let's keep an eye on my ammo. Okay, they dropped an ammo box, and I can pick it up. Okay, that was weird, because it transitioned exactly as I pressed the button. So it felt like pressing use had completed the level, which would be very weird, because I haven't told that to happen. But it was just that there's a timer. I'd already completed the level. So 2 bugs to mention. I probably have mentioned some of these before. One is, on that level, if there's only one guard and you kill the guard really fast, then the enemies don't get a chance to spawn. They should, really. We should try and fix that. The other is, you might have noticed when I dropped my sniper rifle and picked it back up again, I got another alert pip. That shouldn't be happening. We'll have to fix that later. But let's pick up that. Yay, my ammo is replenished. There is another guard, right? Isn't there? Yes. Very good shot if I do say so myself. We should see that both weapons get replenished. Yeah. And it's pretty generous, actually. Cool. Okay, so ammo is going to be less of a problem now, especially as the harder levels have more guards, so there'll be more ammo to pick up. And yes, I wanted to do that now, because then when we make the boss level, that's what I want to be strewn around the boss level is... I placed some health pickups. These are just literally the same ones you get on the plinths. I think I put 4 in there. That's pretty generous. My reasoning is basically when you're fighting a boss, it's going to be hard to even get to them. We haven't made the boss yet, so that's obviously next. And these ammo pickups right now, they're the full ammo pickups, so I'm actually going to delete them all, because they should be the small ammo pickup that we just created. So yeah, if we don't have guaranteed ammo in the level, then we can't make a very tough boss, because you might just run out of ammo and that just sucks. So, ammo in all the corners. So, the idea is, like, this level, I thought about loads of special treatments for a boss, and I realized the best thing, really, is to keep it as close in format to the normal level as possible. It's a special arena, it's going to be a very special boss, but the game logic is going to be the same. You can still hide from it initially, you can still steal stuff from the plinths, you're going to have to face it eventually, and it's just going to be very tough and have a very nasty weapon. So, Given that we have an Uzi guard and a shotgun guard, you might be able to foresee that the boss is going to have Uzi shotgun. And actually, something I should also mention is I decided on better names for these weapons because I kept getting a rail Uzi and thinking it was going to be a shotgun and stuff like that. So I renamed them. The rail shotgun is now called the rail burst. The rail Uzi is called the auto rail. The Uzi shotgun is now called the auto shotgun. And I think that's it. So those are just like more distinct names to each other rather than if everything's a mishmash of the same words, it gets to be a word salad. So let's make a boss. Let's duplicate the World 3 guard and just call it. Now this is going to be the boss of the game. I'm going to call it the Curator, since we are in a museum, and it only makes sense that a giant shotgun wielding robot would curate a museum like this. So I started with the World 3 guard because I think I want to keep that shape. I quite like that star shape. But let's make it, select both the cubes and make it much, much bigger. Like 5 times bigger. That looks wild, but this is what I want. So that is suitably boss sized, I reckon. And of course, the first thing that happens is the weapon disappears inside himself. I'm going to delete that, and I'm actually going to make a special weapon, am I? Yes, I am. So it's going to be based on... I should really rename these things, because now... Let's rename this. Because I couldn't find it in the list just then, because it isn't an intuitive name. Let me... I'll pull that in... Actually, yeah, oh no, we can use the prefab. So it might vary from an auto shotgun, but it doesn't need to be its own prefab, does it? It's only going to be one of these things. And it's nowhere near him yet. I want it to be there. Why can I see it? Oh, the gold material is transparent. I don't think I want that. I think I will go for... this guy probably wants his own material, doesn't he? Let's create a new material. He really is boss material. Let's get those in there, and why is the gold one transparent? I don't care. And now we can just edit it in situ, so to speak. I do think we want it to be metallic. I think that should be nice. And it could just be very red. We've already kind of got a red thing. Well, that's quite nice. Sort of orangey gold. Yeah, let's go with that. And his auto shotgun is going to protrude. Now, there's a thing we've got to deal with here, which is in my test I hit a bug with this where I sort of put it about there or something, and what happened was it killed itself to death because the bullet comes from the weapon's origin here, and so it was hitting the inside of the thing. At least I think that's what's happening. Anyway, we should avoid that. Does that happen? Oh, I know. I think it's... let me check this because I'm curious now. Where do we instantiate the bullet? Bullet transform position plus transform forward. So we spawn it 1 unit out, but whatever the difference was, it wasn't sufficient to get it out of the boss's body, so he was shooting himself. For this one weapon, since we're not having to place it algorithmically, we get to place it manually, I'm going to move all of these cylinders so that... Oh, that doesn't help at all, does it? I want to be able to see the pivot point while I do this, so I'm going to create a cube and make it small. So now I can see that while I'm moving these, and I just want to move these so that they are pretty much flush with that, and then I'll delete that cube. Because now I'm going to make the weapon very big. In fact, it might be easier to do it with the size gizmo. Something like that. Yeah, that looks suitably big. And then, actually, all of these, let's extend them, especially in that dimension, so that we can have it well within the body. Yeah, that's cool. They are kind of the same color, which is maybe not ideal. I guess we can make these different color. What does it look like if those are pink? That's insane. Oh, that's kind of nice. Yeah, and then let's see if we want to change the properties. It's An auto shotgun is already pretty good. Oh, one thing I want to change is the ammo. Shouldn't run out of ammo after 20 shots. Give it 2,000 shots. It's not going to be a thing that you can just take lightly. To be honest, I think the rest of the stats are good. They are... If I was copying another enemy's weapon, I would buff it all, obviously. But this is a super weapon for the player, and the player's stuff is all tuned much more dangerously than the enemy stuff in general. You know, to give the enemy an Uzi, which is a basic weapon for the player, that's like a late game scary thing. So yeah, I think this will be sufficient. I might move that a little bit in. Okay, so then our boss is a guard. Speed, I think, can stay the same. The main thing I want to change is health, which of course will be on the health system, which is strangely high up. And let's try 200 health. I have no idea whether what kind of scale I should be thinking on. Should it be 2,000? I don't know. But I think that will be a good starting place. And is there anything else that needs to change? I kind of think no. I'm going to take this usable thing off him. I'll just disable it, actually. The whole thing about using guards to knock them out has really fallen by the wayside for me. Like, I just don't use it in game, so I've neither done anything to build on that feature, nor have I bothered to remove the feature. Like, we maybe should remove it because it's kind of, I just haven't checked whether the game holds up to you doing that a lot. Certainly doing it to the boss would be a bit too easy. So I think that's probably it. I think we'll just use that. And I'm not going to, rather than plug it into the level generator, you know, we're only on 1 and we know where we want it, so let's just wang him in the level. It's been created at the right height, that's good. And yeah, that's probably about right. Let me just check where the starting position is. Starting position over here. Okay, that's pretty good. Maybe we'll even put it in the corner here. Oh yeah, the last thing, a very important thing, is that the curator, and I will open the prefab for him, will have a bounty. His bounty should be 1,000 points. And the chance of bounty, 1, it's certain. And the seconds for the bounty to last, this is, how long should it take to kill the boss? I'll say 100 seconds. That might be kind of tight. Maybe, let's say 150. Basically, this game is quite a fast-paced game, so if he's, you know, not boringly tough, then you should be able to kill him in that amount of time. But equally, we don't want it to slope off to 0 at the time you kill him, even if you're struggling. Like, you got to this end level, you killed the boss, you should get a reward for that. And so that's why we don't need antiques on this level, because we're going to have a very large reward for killing him. In fact, maybe it's not large enough. Okay, so I think we can just test this directly. Since there's a bunch of weapons in the level, we don't need to build up an arsenal beforehand. And let's see. Oh yeah, I think I started saying this, I don't know if I finished saying it, but in the weapon prefabs list for this level I took out the ammo and the health, because I'm guaranteeing you ammo and health, everything else should just be weapons. And yeah, 0 chance of antiques. So, in startup, let's set level manager to... Did I just check alarm sounded? I didn't mean to do that. Let us see. So, railbars. Oh, I just bumped into an ammo prefab. I should remember to disable the collider there. Okay, so there's the big boss. And it's quite cool because it's easy to hide from him, but that's no use to you because his bounty is ticking down at all times. Woo! I did think about making his vision range like infinite or something, but you don't need it because, again, it's on you to kill him as fast as you can, really. I think a rail burst and a sniper is not bad. The rail burst ammo is very low. Auto shotgun would be better. He's really clipping right through that, isn't he? I wonder... It looks like his collider is only using the core of him as the collider. Anyway. Sniper rifle I think is going to be good. Oh, crash. Is his weapon not set? Oh, I thought we did that. Okay. I haven't tried this before, but presumably we can just fix this in situ, right? I mean, we'll need to fix it again when we stop playing, but if I just drag that in here, we should be able to carry on playing. Yep, oh my god. Oh yeah. I also set every spawn on this level to spawn these guys, which is not a good choice, actually. Jesus Christ, Jesus Christ. Hey, he's down. Okay, I do like the way these guys look, but it's not a good end because they don't apply enough pressure to you, and they just take a lot of hits, and ammo is kind of, I think, scarce. I think that is scarce. So I reckon that boss could be tougher. I chewed through him pretty fast there, didn't I? And I didn't die, and I should have, frankly. This is supposed to be difficult. So there's a couple of things we can do. One is, well, first of all, let's fix that thing. Let's assign his weapon. We also, the guard has a reaction time. It's 0.5 right now. That's very slow. So let's make it 0.2. That's significantly faster, but it's not instant, so you can still juke and jive him, hopefully. And then health of 200, I would say 400. Because we didn't have to pick up any ammo. In fact, yeah, maybe it should even be 500. We didn't have to pick up any ammo. That was... You know what I might do, actually, is in that level, let's make sure that the weapons we give you are ones that are useful. So, over here in the level generator, I think at this stage the railgun is not useful. Let's not give you any railguns. When you delete an element in an array, you've got to delete it twice, because the first time only clears it. Uzi's pretty good. I think everything else is alright. I think just the standard railgun would be a bad choice here. And so there's no point in taking up slots with it. And yeah, the swarmers all being tough swarmers didn't really make any sense. I think maybe just revert this. Just let it be any kind. And yeah, I don't think, given that it's... How far in are we? Oh, 52 minutes. Yeah, we don't have time to make more swarmers. I think you know everything you need to know to make more swarmers, don't you? The first thing I would do is just duplicate a tough swarmer and make it faster. And that's make it the same speed as a regular enemy, and that's a fairly nasty thing. And then, yeah, even faster ones would be interesting too. I think even tough ones might not be that interesting, because we don't, again, weapons don't scale up and it might just get boring. So I think I'll just, oh yeah, the other thing I've got to do is both ammo pickups, can I just select them both? No, because I need to edit the actual hierarchy. So it's really the small one I care about. I just want to uncheck their box collider, and same for health pickups. Their collider is not used to pick them up. The player searches for usable components, so that won't hurt us on that front. And now this should work. And once we... Nope. Not even going to start up. Oh, I'm trying to launch level 9. I shouldn't be doing that. I should be launching startup. Okay, so those don't block us anymore. That's nice. Don't really want the auto rail. I guess standard shotgun, we can get rid of that too, because that's pretty poor for this job. And it's given me like 7 of them. Auto rail's good. Quite limited ammo though. So... Jesus. Okay. So, I would like that health, please. That's not health, that's ammo. Okay, good. Oh, this is fun, because he will shred these guys for me. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Okay, ammo, please. Oh, those ammo pickups are real stingy, actually, when you're using a good weapon. Yeah, that response rate is really good. I really like that. And actually, this is cool, because you are... This really feels like he hates me. I don't know why. That is specifically my take. I wish it told me which these things were. That's probably beyond our pay grade, isn't it? He's great at destroying the swarms for me. I really like the varied swarms. That adds so much. So I can bait him into killing those. But, oh, it's just going to be tough to actually finish him off. I don't want to be the guy who makes the game easier, because he's struggling to solve it himself, but I have kind of taken all of the ammo now. How about this? Yeah, I can't do it from this point. Wow, that's really fun. I think that after all that, I'm actually going to revert the ammo pickups to be to give you full ammo. And just so I don't have to go around replacing them, I'm just going to edit the small ammo pickup. I mean, all right, let's make it 80%, so they are somewhat different to the full pickups, but significantly more ammo. Maybe I'll reduce his health a little bit. Oh yeah, and let's actually do that level change where it doesn't spawn shotguns. Maybe it shouldn't even spawn an Uzi. I don't know. No, an Uzi's pretty good in total damage output. I think the shotgun is just straight up a bad weapon for this because you'd have to get close and stay there for a long time, which is not how you're going to win this fight. I think the regular Uzi is legit, and the rest are fairly legit. And also, hopefully, you brought your best weapon to this level. And yeah, that should be all. Shall I, if I just move these health pickups to like, no, I'm going to leave them where they are. Maybe just closer to the wall. I don't know why, but like their position of being so similar to the ammo element didn't help. And obviously, we would have art in a game like this, and that art would... Oh no, I've done something stupid. I've lifted it up into the sky. Yeah, the art would make it clearer what is what. Yeah, that little tooltip, it would be nice to have that reflect what you pick up, but that's a luxury that we don't really have time for in a game of this scope. So I'm pretty happy with that. I haven't done a full playthrough yet and actually won. I'll try and do that at some point to make sure you can. By all means, try it yourself and let me know how it goes. And I'm assuming that most of you will make your own decisions about what these levels are and how they escalate and what levels of difficulty are acceptable and what's too much. Obviously, when you defeat this guy, we want to have a victory screen, and when you die, we should have a failure screen. That'll have to be next episode. And I'm hoping to make next episode the last one. May end up being a long one, because I also want to fix a bunch of outstanding bugs. I think we've got at least 4 bugs that we should take care of, as well as those 2 screens, and then a tutorial is the main thing I'm doing next time. So I'm hoping the tutorial won't be too long and complex, because our game's not too weird. It's a little bit weird. But yeah, I'm planning to just make some bespoke levels for that, like this boss arena, and you'll just play through those in order, and that'll be a separate menu option. It won't be part of the main campaign, so you don't have to replay it each time you start the game. And yeah, that will be what we do next time.